I'm Alison Fisher, proud partner of Playcraft Billiards and Boards. I've laid out some of the equipment on the table that I carry around. I'm going to show you piece by piece each part of the equipment and how to maintain it. Let's look at what's important. So the first thing I'm going to take is a wooden shaft. Many people have switched to carbon fibre now, many of the top players. That's a personal choice. There's pros and cons to both, which we won't get into here in this video. But I'm going to assume that most of you have a wood shaft. So the best way to maintain that is to get some alcohol and a paper towel and just wipe it down. And then just do that several times and make sure the cue is very dry, okay? And then occasionally, not very often, maybe put some linseed oil on it just to condition the wood. Okay, the second type of shaft that I have here is made of carbon fibre. Carbon fibre is waterproof, so you're not really going to harm this shaft. You could wipe it down with water if you want and just make sure everything's always very dry, or some manufacturers provide wipes that you can use on their shafts. Very important part for a player is the tip of the cue. We have a ferrule, which is just under the tip, okay? That supports the tip when it's stuck on there. And the smaller the ferrule, the less deflection there is in the cue, because the cue doesn't weigh a lot at the end then. So less deflection, the shorter the ferrule. You'll see some cue tips and ferrules are a little bit longer, but over time, with new technology, it's changing. The tip of the cue is usually multi-layered. There's many great brands out there, and a tip can range from $2, which would be a very cheap tip, which doesn't probably have layers, to up to $30. They're generally from Japan and multi-layered, made of pigskin. How to maintain it? I usually get my tips cut down quite a bit when I first put them on by a professional, and that's for the feel and to play quickly with it as a pro player. And then there's different tip tools that you can use, and what they do is they shape the tip to whatever type of tip you like. Some players play with a dime-shaped tip, so it's a little more rounded, and that's usually players who use a lot more spin on the ball. Some players play with a nickel-shaped tip, which is more my speed, who maybe use a bit less spin than others. It's really a personal preference. We also shape the tip and create a grip on the tip to make the chalk stick. Always chalk up after every shot. And when I say chalk, I mean make sure that the tip is covered side to side as well as on top. So it's always good to watch where you're chalking the cue for every shot so that you don't miss cue. And there are chalks out there now where they say you only have to chalk once a game. Not sure I trust it, not sure I want to have that miscue in a game at a crucial time, so I'm in the habit of chalking after every shot, and if I don't, tell me off. Some players like to play with a glove. That's personal preference. If you feel a bit sticky, sometimes we're playing in very humid environments, and that's why I always carry a glove. I won't always play with a glove, but I definitely carry it. If you're not using your cue, you're not at the table, and you're not playing pool, if you have a cue rack on the wall, that's perfect. Go put the cue always back in the rack or lay it on the table. What you don't want to do is leave it sitting around where it can fall and damage it. I always put one of these against my chair when I'm playing in a tournament or in my chair at home, and that allows me to just rest my cue against it, or my cues. Enjoy the equipment, make sure you take care of it, and it will last you a long time. So thank you for tuning in, and from my family to yours at Playcraft, play beautifully.